So for this week's episode, we thought we'd try something different. We want to clean your record. That's right. We're hoping that one of our viewers, one of our subscribers, has a record that they dearly love and that is also extremely dirty. That's what we want. We want to bring all the processes, all the record machines and knowledge that we have to bear on your most treasured and filthy record. So tell us below, what is your Grail record? If you haven't yet acquired it, tell us what you're looking for. In my case, I think my Grail record is the Bill Evans Trio, Sunday at the Village Vanguard. Original U.S. pressing in mono. A near mint pressing of that, particularly off of an early stamper. It could go in excess of $1,000. We do not have that today, but we did want to demonstrate the process that we would go through for a very dirty record. So we headed down to our local record store. The fellas there helped me find one of the dirtiest records in the joint, The Tokens, 1967 album. You might recognize this band. They were the group that recorded The Lion Sleeps Tonight back in 1961, I believe it is. As you'll see, though, in the before pictures, this is a very dirty record, so we're going to put it through all the paces, and it will be akin to what we'll do if we find one of our viewers that has that ultra dirty record with music that they love dearly. Maybe even you've acquired your Grail record. We'd love to take care of it for you. So there's a link below to our email. Please send us your story. Until then, let's clean this record. So here are the steps that we will take, at least for the record that we're going to clean, which, by the way, is not a Grail record, but it is an extremely dirty record. We're going to take 5 different steps. As always, we'll start with the Giotto Blaster. We're then going to give it what we might think of as a pre-soak, in this case, in a spin clean machine. Once it's had a good soak there, we'll transfer it to the suction type machine, VPI Cyclone in our case, and apply several different brushes. We're going to apply the record cleaning liquid with the Prelude brush. We're then going to give it a little deeper clean with the Disc Doctor brush. And finally, we'll agitate that liquid with the Osage brush. We, of course, have separate wands and columns for both processes, the record cleaning fluid and the subsequent pure water rinse. Once it's finished here, we're then going to put it into the ultrasonic machine where we'll turn off the dryer and just allow the ultrasonic process to work. Take it carefully out of the machine there and put it onto the Luracraft, a string type machine, for the final cleaning process where we'll suck up that water that was remaining from the ultrasonic. It's a complicated process, but this is a very dirty record, so let's get to it. By the way, spin clean is not the only, it's probably the most popular, but it's not the only system of this type. We also have, if you're really budget oriented, you might consider the Studebaker. It's a very similar type of machine to the spin clean, and I think it goes for about half the price. Although it is winter time here, I'm not seeing much static cling, so I don't think we need to apply the zero stat, but that's always something you might consider on dry days. Boy, there's a lot of stuff on this. So next, we're going to give it a pre-clean with the spin clean. It's more of a pre-soaking than a cleaning. So we've filled up the tank right up to where the rollers are with pure water and with the record cleaning fluid that comes with the spin clean. It's a reasonable fluid. You just slide it in between the pads right onto the rollers, and actually I'm going to let it sit there for a moment, and then we'll just kind of take it around, leave it in there for a few minutes to let the soaking take place. We'll take this through. You just want to turn it through several times. By the way, if the spin clean is your only cleaning process, I would highly recommend a bath in a record cleaning fluid and then one with just pure water, sort of a pure water rinse. It's Good to reverse direction too. I want to do 3 or 4 revolutions at least. And there's no harm in just letting it soak, particularly if one section of the record has a lot of stuff on it. Just leave it sit there for a while. Okay. Now we want to take it out of the spin clean, give it a little pat dry before we put it on the VPI and begin that process. I'm going to use the excellent absorbent towels that come with the spin clean. I love these towels. It's worth the price of admission alone, I think. Always want to have a soft toothbrush to clean off those velvet lips. Although in our case, the original ones have been replaced by disc doctors. I quite like them. We like this machine a lot. It's a workhorse of a machine. It's bi-directional. This motor will never overheat. But there are a lot of other choices out there. In fact, I made a list. Tell me if I missed any of the suction type machines that are available out there. But as far as I know, you've got Project, you've got the Record Doctor, Nitty Gritty, Okie Nokie is one, Music Hall. There's a VAS, which I believe stands for Vinyl Acoustic Solutions. There's also one from Clear Audio. And by the way, if the look of the machine is important to you, Clear Audio makes a beautiful looking machine. There's DIY options out there. And of course, there's VPI, which we use. VPI, by the way, is not a very good looking machine, but it does a great job. First thing you want to do is wet your brushes. I always like to have them pre-wetted. And we use a combination of DI and reverse osmosis water for the brush cleaning process. We're going to again use the number 15 record cleaning fluid from AIVS. Just notice something here. See this? And it's a little bit of, I'm not sure what it is, but when you get something like that, sometimes a fingernail, and that ain't gonna work. It's something stuck on there. Ah, there it comes. Okay. Now, the disc doctor. You know, that worked better than I thought it would. This is the first time I've ever tried using the disc doctor brush while the record's on the machine. I think I still prefer laying it on a flat hard surface on top of a microfiber cloth, but it's an option for you here. Looking better already. Now, pure water. Same application of brushes though. In fact, we do need to pre-wet those. Keep in mind with the Prelude brushes, the nap is unidirectional, so you want the record to come into that direction that nap is pointing. Not the case with Disc Doctor. Now, the Disc Doctor. Thank you to our subscriber that suggested trying this. Same process, side 2. I can tell just by visual inspection that that pre-soaking in the spin clean helped. Now the water rinse. Okay, now we're ready for the ultrasonic cleaner. We are big fans of ultrasonic machines. This is the original KL Audio, or it may be pronounced Claudio, I'm not really sure, but they no longer make this machine. The newer version looks good. Obviously we've not tried it, but would love to at some point. If you're considering an ultrasonic machine, here's a couple of brands out there that you might want to look into. There's, of course, KL Audio. You have DeGritter. There is Humming Guru. Audiodesk as well. That's an interesting one in that it utilizes a record cleaning fluid inside the tank, along with the water, of course. You also have various kits. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of guy, you can put these together. You could try to build one from scratch. That's another possibility, a true DIY approach. But the one that has me really intrigued of late is the offering from Kermes, Charles Kermes. Couple of interesting things about this one. For one thing, you can clean multiple records at once, I believe up to three 12-inch records, and it has a slot for your 7-inch 45s, which I thought was neat. Charles Kermes has an interesting approach. Unlike any other ultrasonic machine that I'm aware of, he recommends using a bit of alcohol in the water tank. The most interesting approach, however, is the deionizing spray. With the KL Audio, you can set it in there, use the internal heater to dry the unit, and it'll turn off on its own when it's done. With the Kermes, you need to go through 3, 4, maybe 5 different ultrasonic cleaning processes and utilize that deionizing spray between each with a special little brush that comes with it. I think it's a really fascinating approach to ultrasonic cleaning, and we'd love to give it a try someday. Does not have an internal heating mechanism, which actually as you're about to see, we don't prefer. There's nothing wrong with it, but I think a better approach is to allow the ultrasonic machine to do its thing, take it out wet, put it onto the Loracraft, and use that nozzle to suck the water that remains on the desk. Let's do that now. I'm going to turn off the drying mechanism. Oh, it's already off. Very good. 4 minutes is the ultrasonic time, which should be just right. I like to leave it sit in the ultrasonic machine for a few moments just to let any excess water drip off. I think it's been there enough. Let's go take it out carefully, and then we're going to set it onto the Loracraft. Don't worry about getting the rubber mat wet because we have a second one. Okay, for our final step, first thing we want to do is advance the thread, so we have a clean piece of thread going onto the record. I'll just press that into that handy dandy little thread advancer. Turn the motor on, engage the pump, and then the arm so that it's moving across the record. Re-engage the arm and let it go the other direction. There you go. One heck of a clean and dry side one. For side two, you'll see the record is still wet, but we want to replace the mat with one that is dry. Again, we'll advance the thread and repeat Well, that, my friends, is one clean record. As always, we never use paper sleeves, rough paper sleeves, but if it is the original inner, as this is, with some interesting notes of other artists that are featured on this label, love that kind of stuff, but we always use a high quality polymer sleeve, and then if we're going to keep the original inner, insert that. Okay, final thoughts for the record. You know, I often like to try to introduce new music to you fellas. Music might be old, previously recorded stuff, but maybe something you haven't heard and turn you on to something good. That is not the case with this record. I am not recommending this at all. You can see for yourself with the before and after pictures how we did. But think about it, fellas. Do you have a record that you care for dearly? Maybe your Grail that is extremely dirty. 5 distinct steps, different machines, brushes, techniques, fluids. We can clean a really dirty record. So tell us your story. Send us a picture. Send us your thoughts on a record that's dear to you. Maybe it's your Grail of records, but we want to clean something that is truly dirty. Tell us about it, and maybe we'll feature you on an upcoming episode. Until then, we'll see you at the next record.